Paul Mentor is making the switch to, for women's bodybuilding. Now, I'm not one of the people who jump on board on this if she really is women's bodybuilding. Personally, I don't think she is. Paula is a impressive young lady. I got to meet her when I was in Tampa back in 2025. Impressive young lady. When she was there, she was still in her, I think she was like 25 then, and she's 26, about to be 27 this year, I believe. And I feel like she needs more time to stew a bit, And this thing about this, it's the future of the women's bodybuilding division. Women's bodybuilding has been struggling for a long time with few shows. With this year, the Tampa, shout out to Anastasia Ryder, who stepped up and did a GoFundMe for them. And, she's a impressive young lady. I got to give her that. But again, this is from Beyond the Stage. They do a lot of interviews and stuff. That's when she posted an interview with them when she made her announcement. But to me, she's not just there yet. Like I said, she does have great conditioning, some good amount of size. But again, some of the ladies she's going to be up against are going to be some heavy hitters. We have at least a couple of Olympians competing. Also, there's some ladies who really have a good amount of muscle density because of muscle maturity. But with Paula, I don't know. I just feel like she needs more time. I think she needs more time to grow a bit. Coming from originally she was, as Paula was originally figure. Now she has a beautiful back. I give her that. She has a good amount of width, but still, some would say she still has those baby muscles. I think if you put her alongside some of the other women in the division, she can probably hold her own. But again, I feel like what's going to happen if she doesn't get a qualification in women's bodybuilding, she's still going to have qualifications in WPD. So she might go back to WPD after the show. But again, there's some ladies who I see that most definitely have that potential for women's bodybuilding. I'm going to pull up here. And that is, small but mighty herself. And that is, you see where he goes, Sarah Bradley. And, Sarah Bradley, she's an impressive young lady. I mean, it wasn't that long ago when she got a qualification for Olympia in women's physique at the Ultima. That was almost just about a month or so ago. Just about 2 months ago, because it's already in July, and she got a qualification back in May. And when she made the announcement, switch over, I think people really excited because from what we've seen of Sarah, she is most definitely. She looks more like anything women's bodybuilding. Her debut was back in 2023, and then she didn't compete for nearly 3 years. So that time sitting out, she really grew and developed. She's doing some posing and practicing. It's just, if you look at her, honestly, she does look like women's bodybuilding in WPD, especially looking around her muscle bellies, maybe more size in the quads and the legs. But again, it's about how long it takes her to develop as a bodybuilder. But again, I'm impressed with her. She's an impressive young lady, but she has a good amount of mass. I think she probably has some more mass than women who are competing in the women's bodybuilding division. I think one person I think might be a close comparison to is maybe Angela Yo. The look and also the shape is somewhat similar to Angela, because Angela is a little bit more heavy at the top. She has a smaller waist, not as not as defined if you look at Andrea Shaw, but still she's there. If you're getting compared to someone like Angela Yo, but I think she has a great physique, a great look to her. Yeah. But again, it takes time to put on the mass to compete in the level of women's bodybuilding. So we have here, we just got a guest just popped in. We have here, I'm not solo. I have a lady.
Hey.
Yeah. So guys, it's me. It's our dear lovely friend Bev Coleman. Bev is getting ready. She sent me a picture And I told her, "How dare you send me a picture?" And I'm
Oh
a
my
muscle
god.
curve smoke.
Yeah, I'm tired now, but I'm excited. It's been 5 years since I've been on stage, so I'm kind of nervous too. But I'm glad I did it though, because it gave me time to spend with my dad before he passed away, and also gave me time to build muscle too. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we have here from a man KL. He says, "Hello, Beverly."
Hey.
Yes, says hello. So as we're talking about, is there some women, in your opinion, who might have a future in women's bodybuilding, especially to go to WPD?
Oh yeah, Sarah, the one that just transferred over from Women's Physique. She won the Optimum Classic. Oh, what's her last? I'm trying to remember her last name. Y'all gotta forgive me. I have
Bradley,
prep brain. What's her last name?
Bradley,
Yes,
Bradley.
she definitely does. I mean, she has. There's quite a few girls. I think too. Paula. She puts a little bit more size on. She will, cause she's switching over too, right, for the Tampa Pro.
Yeah, for Tampa Pro. With Paula, I'm kind of on the fence on her. I feel like she's doing it because she took that loss at Chicago to Brooke Walker, and I think
Oh,
she's
okay.
doing it because maybe because she feels like she wants to see her chances if she does switch over to women's bodybuilding. And again, I go back to again. I know some people talk about what her age got to do with it. It does because she's still young,
Yeah,
and and I think with a lot of women in bodybuilding, I think most of the ladies, the youngest is maybe in their mid to late 30s,
yeah,
and she's not even 30 yet. I think she's 27 this year, maybe about to be 28, or
yeah.
26, about to be 27. She still needs that time to grow a bit. Let's do something,
Yeah,
right?
that's why I said I think if she puts on some size, if that's what she, if she wants to switch over to women's bodybuilding, I think Brooke looks women's physique. That's why I think she won it. She has the women's physique. Her body's women's physique. But if she puts on, give herself a couple of years to put on some size, I think if that's what she wants to stick with, she would do good because she has a good base for it. I think, to be honest with you, I think if the traction keeps going with women's bodybuilding, it'll build back up. If some of these girls are switching over, I think it'll build back up. Because you think about it, women's bodybuilding was like the OG of for women to compete. All the other categories kind of fell up under that. So I would like to see a lot of strong showing for women's bodybuilding, a lot of support, maybe more. Hopefully, we get some more shows. Maybe next year. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll see. But yeah, I definitely think Sarah, definitely, she's women's bodybuilding all day, just from her delts and how full she looks. But she's not a big girl. She's what, about 5 foot, 5 feet to 5'2", something like that.
I think she's about the same height as Angela Yo because I compare her look to like Angela Yo's.
Uh
Because
huh.
Angela
Okay.
Yo's kind of really broad in the shoulders. She
Yes.
has a
Yes.
little smaller, physique. I
Yeah.
think if anybody she's close to in size and conditioning is Angela.
Yeah.
And yeah, is with some of the shorter women, they can put on a lot more mass because
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
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 for sure.
yeah. Take time. One young lady who I saw walk. I've been following for a good while, and she's been to the Olympia. She went to last year. She's from Australia, and that is Sarah Misick, or she might goes by Sarah Quill. And Sarah, she's been competing for quite some time. She's been a pro for I think over maybe 5 years, and she got a qualification last year at the Arizona Pro. And
Okay.
Sarah looks like she could be
Oh yeah.
women.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think
there's several of them. I know a lot of the girls in women's physique, they could be in women's bodybuilding. I think they just want to stick with women's physique. A lot of them have a lot of mass to them in size. So we'll see. Maybe, the fact that Brooke won women's physique, maybe the judges are looking at more. Let's get back to that original look. I don't know. I'm curious to see how the rest of the season goes in next year's.
hmm yeah, and also like some ladies, as long as they can crack into the top five, top three of the show, they won't move over. They feel comfortable in that division.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard too much of what plans that Sarah has. She lives in Australia. It's costs her to travel to the show. I remember when Tracy Gow, when she did the Arizona last year, she told me that she had to stay with, so she had family in the area. She stayed with them, which saved her some
A lot
expenses.
of money,
Yeah,
yes,
saved a
yes.
lot of
You have
money.
to, yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely, when doing these shows, you have to really strategically, financially plan them accordingly because it can get, especially for the girls overseas coming over here, that could get very costly.
hmm And here she is with the with you saw with Ashley Jones, number two in the
Yes.
world, and
Mm-hmm.
here with Angela Yo, who, like I said,
Yeah.
Sarah has some, maybe she might be just a little bit bigger than Angela because Sarah's much younger, but
Yeah.
you could see you can see some of the aesthetics of it. It's not too far apart. You look at the both of them. Here she
Yeah.
is with Brittany Herrera. We hadn't heard what plans Brittany's going to be doing because she took fourth place, so I thought maybe she might try to shoot for another show. Might try to defend her Texas title.
Mm-hmm.
There is the former the other Sarah Sarah
The Vegas. Yeah.
Vegas. Yes,
Mm.
she's been kind of quiet. And there's
Yeah.
I think, is that Andrew Jack or somebody? I forget that dude's
I
name.
think that is him. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And here she is. That's a lady from Mexico. That she got her Olympic qualification that year. And she's a impressive young lady. I mean, I got to give her a lot of props.
Yeah.
Maybe again, it's about is it would be a lot easier for them to stick in WPD where they might struggle, or they can go to women's bodybuilding where they can evolve more. Because you hit the ceiling when you hit women's bodybuilding, but
Yeah.
in WPD you can kind of grow, but then once you start growing in that division, you kind of grow out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. True. That's true. I think, yeah. I think I would like I said, a lot of the girls, they probably want to stick with women's physique. Some of them I've seen, I'm like, oh, I wish they would move over to women's bodybuilding because they actually, their body is women's bodybuilding. But that, especially like you said, if they could crack the top five, they'll stick with it. But a lot of girls, the advantage, a lot of them, they are young. They got some years, even if they took off some years, they could come back. So that's the plus size of being young. When you're older, it's more like you got a window that you're trying to divvy up in. So,
Yeah, you have like a shelf life as a older competitor compared to if you're a younger competitor. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like I said, this is just something we talked about before, and I felt like I'm hoping to have more people to get on just because this is something I think most definitely competitors need to talk about. Like, what could they do to encourage some of these women who are in a certain division to come up and say, you know what, I like someone like Andrea. Like Andrea talked to, remember, I think she talked to Ashley Jones, and that's the reason why Ashley Jones
Oh yeah,
decided to move
Ashley
up.
looks great. Yeah, I'm glad she did that. I think too, maybe trying to come up with some more prize money. I think that's probably what's kind of hurting women's bodybuilding too. It's just a matter of getting out there and getting somebody to, maybe more shows that are feasible for people to get to. You know, I would like to see one in Texas, actually. I think if we get one here in Texas, I think we would get quite a few competitors because you can drive to wherever you got to go instead of trying to fly, all these different places. I think strategically, maybe even doing a bodybuilding roundtable with some of the ladies. They get together and like do a planning committee or something to see, hey, how can we get this division to grow? Who do we need to talk to? It's kind of like, when you do a planning committee for anything, you're trying to figure out what you can do to get that objective taken care of. So I think even maybe getting together with some like Andrea, or I know time, even if they did it on Zoom, hey, how can we get our division to grow? How can we, recruit people to give more prize money? Maybe, get some opinions from different people, do like a survey, see what people think about women's bodybuilding. How can they recruit some women from women's physique to move over to women's bodybuilding?
I think they have I think I was talking to some ladies. They have a women's bodybuilding chat group,
Yes.
and they've been doing it for a while because some people have been telling me stuff here and there about it.
Hmm.
They talk about some things, and maybe that's something that they can really talk about. Really, for order for women's bodybuilding to
Oh,
survive. Hmm? Hello, I think we lost Bev. Give her a second.
I think I'm back on.
Yeah. So wait a minute, my man Kia got something to say. He says this. He says, "What show you getting ready to do, Bev, or you not putting it out yet?"
I don't. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Can you see me?
It's like my. I guess it's my phone. I can see you though. I'm kind of. I'm gonna say this. I'm low key. Only a few people know what show I'm doing. I'm trying to keep it low key. I don't want to jinx myself. I'm very superstitious. So I feel like that's just my personality, though. I've always been on, very low key, kind of quiet about what I'm doing. I tell you, I will let you know this when I do the show. I will post pictures. We'll say that.
Yeah. Again, she sent me a picture this morning, and I'm trying to be nice, Bev. You sent it to me while I'm laying in my bed with my phone in my hand.
Oh Lord. Oh my God. Yeah, but yeah, I'm very superstitious like that. Like some people, I applaud people who can get out there and post pictures all the time and tell people where they're at. I'm just like I'll jinx myself if I start doing that. So I'm just gonna stay like I am low key.
Well, that's smart. I think it's a good idea because you don't want to ruin your opportunity just in case something doesn't work out for you.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah, because I think with a lot of people, it's good for if you're somebody who's comfortable with broadcasting, like you're going to do a show. I'm going to be here this show. I'm going to be there this show. I think it also helps bring many of the people who follow you to come to the shows because that's one
Mhm.
thing with shows. Most people come because either you're a friend or a family of the person or you're a fan. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been to bodybuilding shows. I've been to a couple already, and it's depending on who's there. It can be a big event. Like as you know, tomorrow I'm going to do a discussion about Tampa Pro,
Oh, okay,
and
great.
yeah, because the list will come out later that evening, afternoon, and excuse me, and we already know a couple ladies who are, as you know, I mentioned Sarah is going to be at the show. But also, we're going to have the return of Sherry Priami.
Oh,
Sherry,
yeah.
yeah, Sherry, she took a break because she went through some medical issues after the last year's Olympia. She's a great lady. She's been on my channel as a guest a couple of times. We have here another guest here. Shout out to my man here, Jeremy, aka the Art of Female Muscle.
Hey,
Hi
Jeremy.
guys, can you hear me?
I can hear
Yes.
you. Yeah,
Hear me
Jerry,
okay?
be busy. You're a busy man.
Yeah, we're just it's trying you keep trying to calm down, but life finds ways to make things uncalm. So
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
That is for sure.
yeah, I
So, so Jer-
took my car to get the oil changed on Friday, and the second I got there, the car died.
Oh my
So
God.
had to
I
find out
don't have
if
that.
I had gone anywhere else or done anything else that day, I wouldn't have had a car.
Yeah,
So
I tell you the truth, brother. I've been through it, and my sister gave me her old car when she got her new truck. I had a car for a good 3 years, and she had it for at least about 10 or more, and it was used already. She rode it from here to Earth's Ends, and and I tried to keep it going, but then eventually, after a while, I said, you know what? I'm done with that club hopper. I'm just, the guy. It's still over there. The guy's mechanic. It's still my sister's name. If she wants, she can strip it. But anyway, Jeremy, your thoughts, especially if the announcement of Sarah Bradley moving over to women's bodybuilding, and with Paula Ranta doing her big debut in WBB at the Tampa Bay Pro.
well, I'm glad that Sarah made the jump. I mean, I've even said on this podcast now for a while, she needed to make one. She needed to make the jump because she is no longer, as far as I was concerned, in what the criteria was supposed to judge. They're supposedly judging by the criteria. I think that's bullshit at this point. But I mean,
I
I'm
wonder if
glad
they
that
can
she moved.
hear
I'm
me.
glad that she jumped. I'm glad that she moved. I can hear you, Beverly.
I hear you
I
too.
can hear you. So I don't know why it's got that for your mic, but I can hear you. Not anymore.
Yeah.
I can't hear you not
Yeah.
anymore.
Well, Bev, just go and go out, come back in later.
Yeah.
Let me go out and come back
There you
Just
are.
go
in.
in.
Maybe
There you
it'll
are. I can hear
straighten
you
out
now.
that way.
We,
Let's
we
see.
can hear you.
I can hear you now. Oh well.
Well,
Um,
we'll come
but
back. She'll probably come back.
yeah, but
Yes,
I'm glad Sarah
yeah.
made the jump. I think she's going to do really well. I mean, when I saw that,
Trying to,
when
what's
I
going on
saw
with my
got that,
volume?
when I cut that, when I did that
I
comparison on
need to
the
get a new
page between her
phone.
and Andrea
Let's
Shaw,
see.
we can
It's
hear
the
you, Beverly.
phone.
We hear you, Bev.
Maybe her mic,
Bev, just
maybe
go
her,
and go out. It might be something. It might be something with her with Wi-Fi she's at. Just go and go out, Bev. Let me see the message. Give me a second. Wait a minute. Let me send it to a private message again.
there she's
But I
gone.
think, well, I'll probably just
Can you
go.
hear us?
I'm just gonna. Can you hear us now? I'm gonna send a message that says just go in, go out, because she put herself on mute. But as you were saying,
Yeah, and then I'm thinking Sarah made exactly the right move by switching to WBB. I think she's going to be a force to be reckoned with next year because the comparison that I did on my page, her delts destroy Andrea's. She's so much better, and her
Y'all, I
back.
apologize for this. I can't hear y'all. I'm gonna back out and come back in. I'm gonna see if I can
Okay,
try it one more time.
okay, you're that.
and then even though Sarah may not have the muscle that Andrea has, that she has a better developed back than Andrea does. So she is going to be a force to be reckoned with next year, Sarah Bradley. The one that I guess I'm scratching my head about is Paula Ranta when she made the jump. Because I watched the interview where she explains her thinking on that, and that she said that Tyler, Sandy, and Steve all told her, and apparently this was more than once, that she was too big and that she needed to move up. And then she said she thought she was too little, but then she looked at the video and said, "Yeah, I am big." But what doesn't make sense is that they're saying one thing but they're doing another. Because I went back and looked up her record. She had 9 shows last year, which in and of itself is unbelievable. And then she's had the 3 that she's had so far here this year. 10 of those 12 shows have been top 3 placings. And she hasn't gotten anything lower than top 3. And then she makes this decision after they give her a top 2 placing at the Chicago Pro. And on top of that, that's coming off of 2 pro wins in WPD. So I look at that and I'm like, okay, well, they're telling you that you're too big and you need to move up, but they keep giving you top placing after top placing after top placing in WPD. If there was ever a sign from the gods that you're exactly where you need to be, it's there. It's that. So why they are telling her she's too big and needs to move up when she keeps getting top spot after top spot? She said, though, that this is like a trial run. This is like an experiment to see how she's going to do. And I think the thing is, you can't do it by one show alone. If you want to do the experiment, you want to do it right, you got to do like 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
If
And
you
she's already.
if you consistently then place in a top position in a new division after a couple of showings, then yeah, it's possible. But you can't do it based on just one.
Yeah,
You got to
because
do 2 or 3 shows in WPD. Personally, I mean, I think, let me clarify what I'm about to say. I think that Paula looks phenomenal. I mean, she looks amazing. But in all honesty, I think her self-assessment is right. She's too big. Or no, she's not big enough.
she's not big enough.
And
No.
she's going to get her clock cleaned.
Yeah, because this is shout out to the hardcore female bodybuilding media. This is from their IG where they took a side by side from the Chicago Pro between Brooke and Sarah. You can really see, even though still she's a little bit smaller. She has good size
Mhm.
lats. But still you get to the lower legs and the rest of the lower party, she's a bit smaller. She's not as round in the delts as you look at Sarah, or even if you look at Andrea, or even Ashley. And her
Brooke
conditions
is
really.
yeah, Brooke is the one who could move up
I
between the
don't know
two of
about
them.
Brooke. I don't know about
Brooke,
Brooke,
I think
honestly.
I think she could put on a little more mass, but If they were going
Right.
to, if there was going to be someone who's going to consider perhaps going there, it would be Brooke between the two of them. So
Honestly, I don't see it because even though she looks a good by side, but she's still a bit. She's like just a little bit more conditioned. She's a little bit. Her. If you look at her, she's not as fuller in the shoulders in details as you look at some of the other women in
mm,
WPD or in women's bodybuilding. She has that. She has the more aesthetic of women's physique, especially if you look at it now. Like how the one person they really compare it to is Natalia. That's the one that sets. Only thing with Paula, Paula's a little taller, and it's going to take her more time to fill out. Like you look at someone like Chelsea Dion. Chelsea's a tall girl. You just saw Brittany Diamond, who won her pro qualifier Friday. She's a bit of a taller girl, and for her, I mean, and again, I know people don't like me to talk about this, but Paula's young, and her body's still growing and developing. One person who I often mention that who could do WPD is Dr. Megan Morrison. And
is that
Megan,
Nate? Is that Nate Scooby Hills?
yep, yes,
Okay.
her. And she, I mean, I remember when I got to saw her at Tampa. I talked to her a little bit because she was going to do her plan was going to do. I think she was going to do Texas, but then something happened and she decided to do Atlanta instead. And she's really has, she originally earned a pro card as a figure competitor. You remember that she was going to do wellness, but then there were some issues with her hip, and it just didn't work out. And then she switched over to WPD. Took second to Zama Benta at Tampa. I was there, and Zama, that's a beast,
Mm.
and still to come in and win her qualification for Olympia at Atlanta, but still didn't do as well at the Olympia. I think she was 11th or was it 12th?
Mm. I'm trying to remember myself. So,
Mhm.
but
But
definitely she
she's
could. I mean, she most
mhm,
definitely has she has the package that you would need to be able to do that. She's got a wonderful back. She's got
mhm.
tremendous leg development as well. Nice upper body development. So I think she could. So another one, couple others that as when I found out this is going to be the topic that I think could. Brigitte Anderch is somebody who I think definitely could because she's got the mass necessary to be able to do that or development.
What's
So
the name again?
Brigitte Anderch, trying to remember
I
the
think
ship.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think
Yeah,
she's out of
I'm not.
I think she's from Austria.
I'm not exactly sure.
I think she's from Austria or Germany. Or she's German. Yeah, I remember. This is her new IG because she used to have a more complete IG. I think she had a issue because I remember her. She was she did New York one year. She got a qualification, I think, at Imperial last year, and she did New York, and she looked really massive. I could find like again, I think her old IG got shut down, so she has a new one now. So I can't get too many new pics. If I can find something, I'll pull it up. But yeah, that's one person that she looked. I remember her when she was in New York. She was really. She did New York and Pittsburgh. She took fourth in Pittsburgh that last year, and then she did New York. I think she was top five in that show too. And then she did the Imperial, and she won that qualification there. Now, who else you want to mention?
There are a couple that are kind of surprising. I don't know necessarily on retrospect. I don't know if she's got the mass necessarily to do it, but Elisa Kiesling, the classical queen.
I
I'm
think
thinking I'm thinking I mean, she's just a phenomenal poser. And that's one of her big things is that she's a tremendous poser. She may need a little more mass in order to be able to do WBB. Somebody else that kind of really has surprised me based on her most recent pictures, Rachel Daniels. I mean, even though she's a phenomenal poser as well in WPD, she's done well as WPD. She's putting on the mass to where she's getting borderline between the two of them, between WPD and WBB. So, I mean, she probably was going to stay in WPD until she gets to that point. I mean, but she's moving up in the mass department. So I think that's someone to watch as well.
Yeah, we talked about Rachel the last time we did her live. She really has really has evolved. She turned pro back in 2020, made her pro debut that same year, got her first Olympic qualification. I think she won the St. Louis Pro, and then she took a break, came back, won her next one in 2022, and then she went to some more personal stuff between. She got divorced, she got attacked by a dog. And then she finally came back last year, came second to Natalia at Pittsburgh, then won at Optima. And then she went through some mental issues herself, just like it happened with Brooke. Like when Brooke won at Tupelo, she took a step back. But also, she's going to do in Tampa, this weekend. And she's also made an announcement. She has a plan. I always shared it. So I don't know if you heard about it. If anybody missed it, here it is.
I did.
And I'm going to get right to it. I know a lot of you guys missed me at the Olympia last year and are wondering, when is she going to get back on stage again? Well, I'm here to let you know I will be competing in the prestigious Tim Garner Productions Tampa Pro in my hometown in just a couple weeks. Tim Garner Productions always runs extremely, extremely good shows, well organized, great group of people, workers, and the audience is always on fire. Now, I have an even bigger announcement that I'm even more excited to tell you guys about. Women's physique needs a lot more attention, and you guys know that I love posing and making art to represent the division. So I really wanted the girls to have an opportunity to fight for their posing and be rewarded for it at the Tampa Pro. After a long search far and wide, I am very happy to announce that we have secured a sponsor for the Women's Physique Division Best Poser Award for $1,500 at this year's Tampa Pro, thanks to our friends at Iron Rose Fitness in Sarasota, Florida. Iron Rose Fitness is an amazing new gym that has opened up with the owners Scott and Laura Freese. Scott and Laura created Iron Rose Fitness to bring a community of bodybuilders together and give them a safe place and a home. The gym is also open to athletes of all levels, coaches, posers, and people who just want to take their fitness seriously and have a great group of people around them while they do it. Scott and Laura partnered with my dear, dear, dear best friends who I consider family and long-term clients, Parker and Nikki Reed from Sarasota, Florida, in order to extend the locations all the way down to Cape Coral as well as Tampa Bay, Florida. I've dropped the address and the website to Iron Rose Fitness so you guys can go check it out. Again, thank you so much to Iron Rose Fitness and for Tim Garner Productions for helping me put this together so that we can give you ladies the opportunity to be rewarded for your hard work on your posing and to bring more positive attention to the women's physique division in our sport. Finally, for all you ladies competing in the 2026 Tampa Pro Women's Physique Division, I hope you bring your posing and I hope you've practiced, because when I get on that stage, you know I'm gonna bring the fire. Respectfully, there will be no mercy. See you guys in a couple weeks at Tampa Pro.
Well, like I said, just a few days from that show.
Yeah, if you look at those black and white pictures, you look at the black and white that's there on the left.
Here.
You see that one? No. Yeah, that one there. That, I think, is her most recent picture of what she's going to be bringing to Tampa. And so that's why I say she's getting up there in the mass department. So I don't think it's going to be too long. Bear in mind also, this is a woman that skipped. She skipped bikini because she skipped. Where did she skip? She skipped figure. She went from bikini straight into WPD because of the mass she was able to put on. So it's kind of amazing that she's able to do that. So I think it's going to get to the point where she's going to have to make a similar decision. So, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that I think that's where she is. So I think of people who could conceivably make the jump, it would be Rachel. She's one of
Mhm.
them too.
Yeah, and we mentioned we talked about Rachel quite often on here because she has a great look to her. Very she has a very artistic style about her, and I think it's something that would probably help women's bodybuilding because you have someone like her. She has a great look to her, and I think that's one thing women's bodybuilding. We need more women who want to advertise is for the division. And I think she's somebody who can probably bring that. We got here, shout out to my man KL Wonder. He says, "This is you showing your face on the episode, Jeremy. You usually hide it." Yes.
Well, I just didn't have a webcam. Now I finally have something like a good webcam. It's just I wear the mask because unfortunately I was able to lose a considerable amount of weight, but unfortunately not before I lost my teeth. So as a result, don't want to gross everybody out with that. So it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
it's
Be
not that I'm
respectful.
it's not that I'm afraid of getting sick from a virus through the internet. It's just that I'd rather not gross everybody out with that.
You don't
So
want to look like he's so like country got me crazy. Yeah, yeah, but I know quite a few people. They missing their teeth. They don't care. But respectfully, but that's what you want. Shout out to MKL. He says this: "Where your legs at, Sarah?" Are you talking about? I think he must be talking about either Sarah, Brad. I'm not Sarah. Which Sarah you talking about? There's a lot of like Sarah.
he may be talking about Sarah Creel. We were
Yeah,
talking
Sarah
about
Perret.
earlier.
She got some good sized legs. I mean, the look of it. Shout out to Man K. He says, I don't know what is these divisions separate to do their own shows, to do different routines. Well, there's, like I said, there's not too much difference between WPD and Women's Bodybuilding, only just opposing. And they pretty much use pretty much about the same style of routines. I mean, they work with probably about the same coaches when it comes to posing. Like one guy's very popular is Kenny Wallach. Like anytime I interview some ladies, they mention him. I know right now, Christina Mendoza, she's been working with a lot of ladies. Just this weekend, she was working with Lindsay Contreras and also with Haley May. And my man, Jeremy has made it something, pointing out something. As you know, we just had the USA Championships just this past Friday. And there's the issue where I was talking to a couple of ladies that did compete that show. They felt like, and I got Jeremy here, we can talk about this. They felt like they were a little bit, didn't get the wins that they deserve.
Well, the one that I posted was Teen Collegiate and Masters. If you're talking about the one where I put up the tables and such like that. But I know there were other people as well who were, I guess, were kind of upset about the posing at USA's because when you had the light heavyweights, it's like one of the women, I think it was the Lindsay Contreras, she was doing almost all WPD posing in WBB. So it's like you look at that and I'm like, okay, but you need to be doing the same poses because otherwise, how can you do an accurate comparison as everybody's doing the pose that they want to do rather than the ones that are required? Hence them being called mandatories. Because it's like you can't do, I mean, if one person is doing a WPD side chest and the other one is doing a women's bodybuilding side chest, I mean, you can't actually, the way I see it, you can't do an accurate comparison unless everybody is on point doing the same posing. So it's like when I see that, I'm like, it's like, okay, I'm not the judge. I'm not the one there at the show, but that's just the way I saw it. Because I don't understand why we're mixing the posing in the divisions. Because they're supposed to be distinct for a reason. That's just my take on it. A couple others as well who DM'd me. So
Yeah, because I think the lady who won there was some people felt like the lady who won in the light heavyweight class might not be so much women's bodybuilding. I don't know. Maybe it was because of the posing.
she I think was also in WPD as well.
Yeah, her name is Laura Vieira, and this is
Laura
her.
Vieira. That's not Lindsay Contreras. That's the other
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Laura Vieira, and even though she's doing like the front lat, she's doing side chest as
Right.
WPD.
See?
Yeah, that should be a strike. She's doing open hands. when you're not
Right.
supposed to do it with open hands. And you still do because you see a lot of WPD competitors doing the lat spread, but they ain't supposed to do the lat spread in the WPD poses, but they
Right.
do
I
it
mean,
anyway.
let's keep the posing separate by division. So,
Mhm.
because again, it's distinct for a reason. So,
Yeah.
because again, if everybody is going to be doing their own poses, it doesn't. How can you do an accurate comparison between the two if everybody's doing the pose they want to do rather than the ones they're supposed to be doing for that division? That's just the way I see it.
And here he is also in the women's bodybuilding heavyweight division. We had Haley May, also Britt,
Brett Gang.
Mills, and also
Yeah.
Brittany Diamond. And I was rooting for most definitely for Haley. Haley's been a guest on my channel. I was rooting for her. She get a qualification. Britt looks impressive. You think that we see her
Britt
eventually
was
jump?
also Britt was also in WPD, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't she
Yeah.
also get a pro card in that?
No, she didn't get a pro card because that same she was the same category with Debbie with Brittany Diamond, and
Okay, that's what I'm
yeah,
thinking of.
yeah, she was
That's
the
the
same
one I got.
category. Yeah, but it was another girl who got the pro card in that category, and Debbie. I'm sorry, what's he call it? Debbie, Brittany.
It was two
She
Britneys, I think.
Yeah, because you have Brittany Diamond and Brittany Mills. So you try to, but I don't know why I call her Debbie. But I think will we see either one of them making their pro debut this year or maybe next year?
Well, who knows? I mean, it's just up to them as to what how they are feeling. So if they want to go on and make a pro debut, obviously they can. They still can. It's just, do you want to jump right in, or do you want to take some time to be able to adjust and make whatever improvements that they said to make at the show? So it's up to them.
I think
Usually, I guess from what I've seen, people take time off and decide to make adjustments before they just that people will take time to make adjustments based on the feedback that they get before they make a pro debut, but it's not impossible. So again, it's just up to them and what they choose to do.
Yeah, it's a process. I remember last year, Rania, she made her pro debut right after USA's, and she jumped into Tampa. I was, and she did really well. I think she was in the top 3 of that show that year, and now she's coming back to compete and possibly maybe get her first Olympic qualification. Like again, you still have people like Sherry Priami, Alita Opa going to be doing the show, Dr. Keith Squarey, I think Anastasia Ryder, Marilyn Yee. The list's gonna come out because I don't know you probably got to work that day, but I'm gonna do who's gonna be making the Olympia, who's gonna make the Tampa. You for my Must Talk Monday tomorrow and talk about that and wait to see who's maybe wait to see what the list is gonna come out, who's gonna be on the list. But those are playing names, and then also Shamar Hinton is gonna be doing the Tampa Bay Pro, and you have to get Rachel Daniels. Also, who else? I know Melanie Horton says she's coming back because she hadn't competed since 2025. 2025. Last time she did I think she did the Vancouver Pro that year. We have a comment from KL. He's an ass. I love him, but he's an ass. He says, "Wear a hockey mask next time."
We'll put it this way, KLA. I'll wear a hockey mask when you come back in your robe. If I'm going to come in a hockey mask, you're going to come in a robe, and this time you're going to do it right. You're going to have those rose petals on the bed. You're going to tone down the lights. You're going to have those candles. You're going to have Barry White playing in the back. So I come in a hockey mask. You come in a robe. Let's do that.
Yeah. Play. Hey. I got suggestions for you, KL. Play a little of some classic. Like Ronald Isley. So old school Ronald Isley in the background. Play like Spend the Night. A little. Siswa Golden Lady. Oh, he says this. He says we could do that. Yeah. So,
I gotta head out. I gotta get ready to go to work tonight. So it's good to be on here. So good topic. Congrats on 6,000. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that we were celebrating 5,000. So you're growing, man. That's awesome.